Dan the Wheelman here, and my very special guests, plural today, are not just these two very cool, tough trucks from Nissan Infiniti, but I've got Connie Peters here as well. Follow her on XO Connie Peters at Instagram and on YouTube. I think we're gonna have a great time. I'm just really curious about these two vehicles here. This is the 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph, and this is the 2025 Nissan Armada Platinum. These two in this spec are quite different when it comes to pricing. I'll put that on the screen right here in just a second, but they can both be had at certain levels depending on spec, for similar pricing. I'm just wondering, what are the main differences between these two? I don't know.
Yeah, let's look at the differences, but I will say similarly, I view them both as three-row luxury family SUVs because they both have a ton of luxury features. They have gorgeous interiors, beautiful styling, and for me, I'm gonna look at the bottom line. I'm gonna look at the price point because they both have so many great luxury features.
Yeah, and I look at the front end of this, which is like pretty much a direct lift from the now defunct or now extinct Nissan Titan full-size pickup. I think it looks a little tougher, more rough and tumble. This one with the bamboo grille looks kind of a little nicer, obviously more luxurious and wheels and all that kind of stuff. Although these both in this pick have 22-inch wheels, but anyway. But I'm just wondering how different they're gonna feel as we drive these things. Am I gonna feel like I'm driving a big tough truck with this and a luxury ocean liner with this, or will it not be quite as different? I don't know. Let's go have a look. What do you think?
We'll see. Let's have a look at the back end, rear design, and styling of these two. What do you think?
Well, obviously the Infiniti is a little more swoopy. You've got this curved kind of light bar across here. That has a light bar too. This has they call them piano key inlays, I believe, does Infiniti. Just a classier look, a few more subtle creases and curves. I think I like this one better. They both have hidden hitches, which I think is great.
Yep.
But this one here, for me, I kind of dig it.
I agree that the Infiniti looks a little more elevated. Again, it's a little classier. I think that's what you said, classier looking, elevated. I agree. I do love they both have hidden tow hitches, sorry. They both tow 8,500 pounds if towing is your priority. I always love a good light bar. You guys know this. I say this all the time. I love a good light bar. So I love the simplicity of the Armada. Definitely. And I do love that for this year's redesign, it's boxier again.
Right.
The Armada went boxier, and he touched on that.
And not only was it not boxy before, it wasn't even round, it was just bulbous before.
Bulbous.
I think, you know? Like
That's a terrible word.
But it's right. It
I know,
describes it. You know,
I agree.
both of these kind of were like
I
that.
agree. And this one is
made it much edgier now.
Exactly. But this one's still a little curvier, which is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful design. I love the lighting, the piano key lighting, both the front and back on the Infiniti.
Yeah.
But I love the simplicity and the truck, and you touched on this, the truck-like look of the Armada.
The only thing for me is that it's got this two-color situation going on here with the black and the white. I think a monochromatic would be even better, kind of ram home that slightly more utilitarian look.
Yeah. And one thing I just noticed that I love that they did is that on both, they hid the rear wiper underneath the spoiler.
Good point.
Love that.
Huge.
I'm spending this kind of money. I don't want to look at this big wiper stuck, like smacked on the back.
Especially when I park outside and someone wants to be funny and stuff a piece of garbage underneath it or something like that. You know what I mean?
So let's have a look and see what they look like inside. This top trim has a power lift gate.
Both of these power lift gates.
Yes. And
I just want to mention right now, the only real difference size-wise, this is a little bit longer. That's only because of bumper shape, though. That's it. Wheelbase the same, width, height, all of it the same.
So the interior cargo room is going to be the same. So we're not going to try to compare the size difference from one to the other. We will, however, show you the interior space for passenger space in both the second and third row.
And they both have really nice stuff about the interiors.
Beautiful
really nice
interiors.
Stuff.
I absolutely, I love a good red leather. On both of them, we have a power folding third row. So power folding and tilting third row, which is so handy when you have that extra kid. Once in a while, you pick up an extra kid at school, but your third row is down. Well, you just pop it up and the kids can hop back in there.
And both of us are parents, so these are the kind of things we appreciate for a vehicle like this, for sure, right?
Of course. I mean, you guys, as parents, we all know you spend years picking up and dropping off in carpools and grocery shopping with kids in the car, all of the above. So you need to know how these things are going to work. These also both have air suspension. This is the top spec, as a reminder. That is also the top spec, but they both have air suspension and you can lift and lower from back here.
But one difference, standard air suspension.
Right.
I have to option it on the Armada.
but this is the top Platinum Reserve, and it would be standard on the top.
It's standard on the top
Yes.
Platinum, exactly.
So one of the things with the air suspension lifting and lowering from back here, again, it comes down to cargo and kids. So you're putting stuff in and out of the car, strollers, what have you. Being able to lower the air suspension for a lower load floor is super helpful.
Yeah, especially for...
Yes. How tall are you, Dan?
I'm 6'3".
Okay, he's 6'3" and I'm 5'1". So there's your comparison for
Yeah.
our height inside as well.
But at the same time, taller doesn't change how hard it is to lift something over your bumper. That doesn't make a difference,
Yeah,
really.
when you have heavy things, you have heavy things.
You always appreciate that,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
and
cool.
underfloor storage. Appreciate that too.
Yes.
For wet items and so on.
Oh, we also have an AC. So we have a 120 volt back here.
Yeah,
Is there?
yeah, I think they both have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's got it too. It's open.
Cool.
This one.
And I noticed too, we have lower anchors for 3 child car seats in the third
I'm gonna
row,
put 3.
which is really unusual. But I will say, if you have,
If you have it, at least you have it.
yeah,
It's like it's like in Arrested Development. Then you'll have it. So this one identical.
Yeah.
Same hooks for your luggage or your shopping bags. Seating is the same. 3 hooks here for 3 shoulder anchors. All that stuff. Underfloor storage, I believe, is the same in both of these too, right?
Yeah. And they both have a 60/40 rear sleeve.
And they both have that too. Yeah. So far, 1 for 1 on these two things.
Pretty much the same. Let's go look inside.
Okay, so here we are up front. This is still the Infiniti. You can tell by this beautiful red and this logo here on the front, of course. This is neat. These are both 14-inch displays on here. That's standard. In the Armada, you have to upgrade to get the 14-inch displays there. So you want to keep that in mind. They're 12.3 inches as standard in the Armada, but they're still digital. This is a almost completely touch affair. There are no hard traditional buttons through here. None. All of your climate control, all that kind of stuff is done through this display. I'm not a huge fan. I find these displays tougher to work with while you're driving, while you have gloves on, all that kind of stuff. Whereas traditional buttons just that much easier to use, but there is lots to do. You got your heated steering wheel, heated and cooled front seats. I think I've got massaging seats here as well, possibly, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, we do, right? And lots of stuff. Wireless charging through here. We have a cooler in here, which I'm kind of down with. The only thing is, it does affect how much room you have in the center console, because the cooler takes up a little more space and has as big of an opening. There's a lot going on. You got cup holders, charger, all that kind of stuff. In the Armada, as Connie's going to show you in just a minute, it's a lot simpler down here, what's going on. A lot kind of easier to use, actually. But I do have two USB-Cs and all that kind of stuff. Some storage underneath the center console, too, which I like. Just more storage is better in a big vehicle like this all the time. And the luxury continues. Diamond print seating, comfortable seats. You've got the inlays through here that love these clip speakers. One of my favorite features is a digital rearview mirror. Why? Because a vehicle like this, where you're going to have more than one person in it regularly, especially in the second and third rows, it doesn't affect your view out. So you can have this whole thing full and it doesn't affect your view out at all. Or you can load a really high load back there. Again, use this and no problem. And if you have 2 drivers, you don't have to adjust the mirror at all, because the look through here is always the same. Big fan of the digital rearview mirror. Takes a bit of getting used to, but I've got used to it now and I absolutely love it. Airy, nice big moonroof, more 2-color stuff, more of the kind of bamboo kind of theme through here, which is neat. They have really done well. These paddle shifters are a little cheap feeling. They're made of plastic. Real metal would have been nice, but it's good that I have paddle shifters anyway. And just good view out, comfortable, steering wheel angle's good, a little bit flat bottom, so I'm not bumping into my legs when I turn the wheel. I don't mind that either. Just a little bit too heavy on the touch panel. Transmission is traditional buttons, but that's weird to say because traditionally transmissions aren't operated by buttons. Usually it's a gear lever, but here they've gone the button route. What that does, it means you won't snag things like Connie's wonderful handbag here on the gear lever when you want to put it in the second row there. It reduces the second seat, reduces clutter. That's fine. I just wish this was a little quicker in its operation, but otherwise, not bad.
All right, so now we're in the Armada. Again, this is the Platinum Reserve, so this is the top spec, and we have the same big screen, dual 14 inches, customizable digital driver display. We get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is the same as the QX80. We have our trailering tools here. Big leather-wrapped steering wheel. I believe Dan said we had a sporty flat bottom in the other one. This one does not have it. It's just round. And then we have haptic controls here to control our adaptive cruise control with Pro Pilot Assist. I love Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist cruise control is fantastic. We even have a driver attention monitor. But what's really different, again, between the two is this whole area. And that is we get the same push button gear selector. We have more drive modes in the Armada than we do in the QX80.
I think it's 6 in the QX80 and 8 in the Armada.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We have heated and ventilated seats. We have a heated steering wheel. We still get massaging seats in this top spec of the Armada. And then this is similar but different. So we have a wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C chargers, big cup holders, which is great. And I love that this closes. It just keeps it clean looking. Yep. And then we have a nice big center console. But the difference here is that in the QX80, you have a cooler box here.
So a lot more space in this one.
Yeah, so you have more storage in this one, which is fantastic. But I love the leather dash. I don't think this, to me, is not less luxurious because we have a wood trim. We have leather on leather. We have beautiful stitching.
And that's like
and
real
contrast.
open pore wood, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, it just looks fantastic. And then again, we get the Klipsch audio system. So again, we get 12 speakers in here versus 24 in the QX80. We also get the digital rearview mirror that Dan was just raving about, which I also love. I'm a big fan of the digital rearview mirror.
I was raving, wasn't I? I was definitely raving.
You were raving.
Yes,
and I love it too. But like, I will say not everybody does. My husband hates it, so he will always turn it off and I always turn it on.
Yeah. Why don't you flip it, show people how it works. See, there you go. There's Connie.
So that's just a mirror. That's the old style mirror.
Yeah.
And then this is a digital rear view mirror, which uses a camera on the outside of the car.
The one thing, Connie, what about low light? I actually tend to switch back at low light to the regular old school mirror.
I don't know. I actually think I like it because it tends to be clearer to me. Okay. And then we have our camera here that we talked about already.
So there you go. So there you go, folks. Hello, everybody. There we go. So that's it. So that is so you can check on your kids.
We can even take a photo. Let's take a selfie. Okay, so there's our inside camera. And that was the same on the
other vehicle. We don't have to show you that one too because it's the same thing.
Yeah. But
the quality of the display is the same. It's same resolution, all that kind of stuff. There's no difference whatsoever. The only thing is you can choose different themes in the QX80.
Right.
I don't think you can do that here, but who cares?
But for me, the wireless CarPlay is like the bottom line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it is a Google-based system. So we have a center console in this one.
Which means we can't walk through these two seats to get to the third row.
Right. I like a pass-through. A good pass-through is a good thing.
Gotta love a good pass-through.
This is a really nice deep center cubby, and there's 2 USB-C chargers. And we have rear climate.
Nice.
And we have rear heated
and we have vents,
ventilated seats.
And we also have venting above this row and above the third row. That's a big deal.
Yes. A third row vents is huge. Let's talk about this interior though. What do you think of the red leather?
I like the red leather. I'm a fan. Red leather, brown leather, I'm really a fan of when it works.
Yep.
When it doesn't work though, it can go horribly wrong, especially brown. Have you ever seen a 5-year-old Subaru with brown leather?
No.
Good. You don't want to see that.
I don't want to.
You don't want to see that. But here, this red, it's like a brick. I didn't actually even call it brick red, maybe, but it looks. I think it's
beautiful.
Fine. In fact, I think I want more of it. And I think I wish there was more of it than there is.
It's like even perforated. There's like pattern on it because this is heated and ventilated.
That's it's such a cool Japanese thing. The craftsmanship when it comes to Japanese luxury vehicles, really all Japanese vehicles, not just Infinitis and Nissans, but so many, is how they do this. It's gorgeous what they do.
So much
These
detail.
Inlays here is unbelievable. Like, look at that.
Those bamboo.
I feel like a Rolls Royce.
That bamboo pattern we see on the front grille carries to the inside. We have ambient lighting back here.
Smart.
It's really beautiful. Oh, and the sound system. So in this top
I think there's something like 475 speakers. Is that what it is?
It's a 24 speaker Klipsch audio system. Amazing. And it is excellent.
You can only get a maximum of 12 speakers in the Armada, right?
But it's a Klipsch.
Also Klipsch, which is also really unique. I've never seen Klipsch in any other car, I don't think. I've only
it's really good.
known it for like high-end home audio, so that's kind of cool too, isn't
It's very cool.
And at the intro, we were both on the intro to this car when they showed us how good the sound system could be. Wow. Heavy level, heavy duty stuff. I
think the 6'3" passenger should have to get into the third row and show us how much room there is for you back there.
I think we should do that.
I think so.
Let's do it.
I'm going to stay here in my heated and
enjoy yourself.
Seat.
I'll contort myself here, no problem. So it's a power flip. So we flip it like this and let it.
Is it a tilt and slide?
It's a tilt and slide, but it's all powered. There we go.
I love a tilt and slide because it means you can leave like a child car seat in that.
Huge.
While you're getting another kid.
Once again, putting our parent hat on here.
Yeah, because you have.
But I wish it was manual. It'd be faster.
I do.
Anyway,
manual
but that's
is faster.
never going to happen though. Okay. See, that is not bad. I'm going to pop it back here now, I think, as we try. Yeah. Okay, so in the back seat, I've taken my hat off because It's not gonna work. Without my hat though, it's not bad. I've got pretty good legroom here too. I can fit my hands between my knees. I mean, you're not gonna put adults in here for too long, but in a pinch, it shouldn't be a problem. And kids should have no problem at all. Not to mention, I've got heated seats back here to 2 levels, both outboard seats. That's nice. Plus USBs and cup holders.
Okay, what do you think?
I think that if I had my eyes closed, I would not tell a difference. That's what I think. But I could be wrong about that.
Absolutely love this interior. I've already spent a week in this, you guys. If you want more detail or want to watch a second video, I've had this exact spec at home for a week, and I loved this one so much.
And sorry, just to say, I've also driven both of these at Infiniti as well, so we both have experience behind the wheel of both these vehicles.
So big difference is the other one had that really massive console here, but here we get a pass-through and a little tiny console. But I love a pass-through. I don't know about you.
It does a lot of things. It makes it easier to get to the third row, although getting to the third row in the QX80 wasn't too bad. As we showed, it really wasn't too bad. But you get that option, and it's airier. You don't feel, in the second row, you don't feel as like, you know,
And we still have armrests and everything.
And we still have all the adjustments we need. We don't have as much storage in the second row.
Right. And I just noticed another thing. So we do have rear climate control. So we have our own climate buttons, and we have heated outboard seats, but we do not have ventilated seats.
Oh, yeah. That one had ventilated seats.
That one also had massage seats in the second row, which I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to check out.
That's the luxury car. I mean, these are things you expect, right? So, but yeah, and you've got 2 USB-C ports.
USB-C ports there and there. So we actually have 4 for this row, and we have another
2 in the back.
2 in the third row. So the space-wise, we don't really have to get in the space-wise, but I will say, like, again, okay, when you have kids,
hence getting to the second row,
you just hop in the third row. It's so much easier without a console, and I have tons of room.
And I do too. And this driver's seat is fit for me, 6'3", and I've still got room here, and she has room back there. That space in here is not in either of these cars isn't a problem, but it's just a little more, I think it's better used here because you don't have that massive center console.
And I have vents in the third row, which I love. And I just want to say, I love these.
You mean vents up here, right?
Back here. Yeah, we have vents back here, which is really nice. These seats are power folding and tilting, so I can recline a little bit. I even have latch. So I have latch for 1 car seat in the third row, which means you could have 3 latch attached car seats in here. I love this interior. For me, this was hands down my favorite.
The bottom line is you do not have a clear difference other than that between these 2 cars. Of course, this is the top trim. The base model of this has synthetic leather. That's leather, real leather all the way through, I think. But this one here, so, God, not a lot of differences, man.
Nope.
Not a lot. Oh, and you can get a bench seat, of course, here if you wanted.
Yes.
Maybe not. Oh, yeah. This is called the Armada Platinum Reserve captain's chairs.
Yes.
There's one, so you could even get a bench seat, so you have seating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people if you want as well. Boy.
But I personally love the pass-through.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so both the QX80 and the Armada got new engines for 2025. Gone are the V8. In is a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 in both of them. They tune them a little bit differently, however. This Armada has 425 horsepower. The QX80 gets 450 horsepower, but they both have 516 pound-feet of torque. They're both 9-speed automatic transmission. They both tow 8,500 pounds. All-wheel drive is standard in Canada, not so in the US. It's an option. What do you think, Dan?
I think that the big thing for me is they don't drive very trucky. They're both body-on-frame trucks, but they found a way to use the bushings, the engine mounts, all that kind of stuff to just soften all that, make it quieter as well. And that's amazing for both of these. The air suspension helps in that regard as well. I'm a fan of big naturally aspirated V8s. You probably are too. I like the linear acceleration they have and the way they sound, but this is a pretty good V6 too, and there's more power here than there used to be. And I think it's a little bit lighter to this engine, which means you can tow a little more, which all good stuff. Nothing, and probably this is actually definitely better when it comes to fuel economy as well. Now, at this level, is fuel economy that important to people? Some people maybe, but less so than if you're driving like a mid-level hybrid or whatever. So I think that's all great, but for me the big thing is just how well it disguises its truckiness when it comes to the drive. I asked in the intro about whether it feels kind of rough and tumbley, this Armada. It does not feel that way. It feels like a proper luxury vehicle, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and there again though is why I would choose this.
Yeah,
it doesn't drive worse or slower than that QX80.
Right. Even though it has a little bit less power.
Yes, but
when do you really
25 horsepower?
I know.
It has the same amount of torque.
In a truck that weighs like, what, 58 million tons or something like that? Exactly.
regardless, the drive is great. Yeah. And for this size, you guys know I always talk about like parking and maneuvering these big vehicles. Amazing cameras, the 360 view, emergency braking, sensors. So, I mean, all of those things are going to help you maneuver when you are driving a big vehicle.
And low overhangs too when it comes to just the overall physics of the thing. So just much easier to make tighter turns when you don't have as much body hanging out ahead of your front axle or back of your rear axle there.
Yep. I like the drive. And again, this is, well, I won't spoil it. I won't say which one is my choice.
You already kind of did that. Okay, so here we are now in the QX80. You just saw us in the Armada. Now we're in the QX80. I think it's quieter in here, actually. It seems quieter to me already with ambient noise than the Armada was, which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things a luxury model gets. More sound deadening, better speakers, and so on, right?
Yes.
But the drive, as I mentioned in the Armada piece, it just does not drive like a truck at all, this thing, right? It's so good for that. And when you put the pedal down, there's good power. Missing the V8 less and less and less the more I drive these. So that is a big, and Nissan knew it, Nissan Infiniti knew it when they put the V6 turbo in. Like, people are going to be a little upset about the V8 at first, they'll get over it. I think that's more of an issue for, like, you know, truck buyers and things, right? Would you agree?
Yes,
like,
100%.
Yeah, so for an SUV like this, when I say trucks, it'd be like a pickup truck.
Yes.
For an SUV like this, people are probably a lot more accepting, and it's a very smooth engine, actually.
Very.
It's not peaky, it's not all turbo laggy at all. When you have a 9-speed transmission like that, it really helps reduce the lag and all that kind of thing. There's more kind of flexibility within the powertrain. Nah, touchscreen's annoying. I just don't like it. Like, it's
you would get used to it though.
I guess you get used to it.
I always say that there's quirks in all cars that I don't like at first, but then if you bought that car and you were living with it on the daily, you would get used to it.
True. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But that doesn't change the fact that it just doesn't work when you have a glove on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless you have one of those gloves, I guess, that works with an iPhone, that might be a little better. But these are all whatever. So, but as far as the drive goes, there just is not a huge difference between these two. It's smooth. This one has just a little bit more power. It's really just a mapping thing they've done, right? Like, they haven't really, it's not like there's a bigger turbo in this or something, or bigger exhaust, nothing like that. They've just changed some ECU stuff, I believe. I think that's all it is. Fuel-wise, I think you want to put 91 or 89 in both of these. I think,
I would imagine
kind
they're
of
both
a bit of
premium.
a bummer because it's a big tank.
Yeah.
These aren't the most fuel efficient things. They're better than they used to be, but so there is that. But it's got good power. It definitely has some pickup, and I do appreciate that, especially considering we're dealing with a turbocharged engine now. Drive-wise, not a huge difference.
And you were mentioning in the last clip that train tracks, we're just about to drive over some train tracks, and you will notice barely anything in here. It's just really smooth.
Insulated. Let's have a look. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It is.
Even with these massive 22-inch rims, even then, it doesn't like jam up at all.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
It would feel differently in the Pro 4X, which is
that's a tire thing, though.
Yes, that's a tire
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, there's more drive modes there as well. Yeah. But yeah, here it's nice. Both of these you could spend long drives in and be totally happy. You and the whole family.
Oh yes.
Like, no problem
These are
at all.
built for road trips, in my opinion.
And they've definitely covered it with what they provided with both of these. So the drive, I don't think the drive is going to convince anybody of either one of these. Am I right when I say that? Like,
I agree.
We're driving them back to back on the same route.
Yep.
Someone else could drive them back to back on the same route. I don't think they'd be able to just say, I want that because it drives so much better. It just doesn't.
No, I agree.
So it really breaks down, I think, to the styling of the interior, some of the sound system, all that kind of stuff, right? And the styling of the exterior.
Yeah.
And the styling of the exterior and the badge, of course, as well.
The badge and the styling, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they are quite different styling-wise.
Definitely. But I mean, it's so interesting. So interesting to think about. Hopefully I can draw some kind of conclusion from this. So first, I'll say where I come out on this, okay, Connie?
Yep.
I'm coming out of left field. I'm going with one that we don't even have here, the Pro 4X model of the Armada. That's the more off-road spec one. It's got like better off-road tires, different approach angles, bumpers, tow hooks. It's got kind of that cool styling, like red flourishes, both inside and out are kind of orangey red. I think it's really neat. I think it's a cool application. Yep. You drove it, you know about it as well. You can check her video out on her channel as well about that Armada Pro 4X. But if I was looking at the luxury level, which is where we're at, let's be honest with these two. I know there is a price gulf between these two trims. 110 grand for this one, about 135 grand for that one. I'm pointing out there because it's parked right beside us, just so you know. And so there is a price gap, but you know, you get the better sound system in there, the center console, you get the fridge in there. So for a luxury kind of round town cruiser, that's the way I'm going. Right. I think. Even with the slight bugaboos we have, the touch panel, I have the touch screen, all that kind of stuff. Right. I don't know. What do you think? This is my choice. This one, the one we're sitting in now. I love the Armada Platinum Reserve because I'm saving about $20,000. It's good savings. And I'm still getting a clipped audio system. Yes, it has less speakers. It's still amazing. I still get a pano sunroof. I get air suspension. And all that space that we have in the side. I still have massaging seats. I have heated and ventilated seats. I have wireless CarPlay. I have... Oh, I just want to... Sorry to interrupt, Connie. I wanted to say... We have massaging seats in the front of this one, but not that one. In that one, we do have massaging seats in the second row as well. Sorry, continue. That's true. But for everything I'm getting in this Armada, I absolutely love this interior. It's one of my all-time favorite interiors. For everything I'm getting, I'm saving money. I'm choosing the less expensive Armada. And I do love the new body style. So if we did not touch enough on this, both have new body styles for 2025. They were both redesigned. We went from the V8 to the V6, which we already talked about. Yes. But yeah, this is the one I'm going with. And that's how the cookie crumbles, folks. But yeah, total. I see what she's saying. I see what you're saying. Totally. We've experienced all these in a number of ways. I totally get it. Anyway, I hope we helped you guys make a decision. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. If not, no hard feelings, of course. You can follow me on Instagram at Dan the Wheelman, on Blue Sky at Dan the Wheelman as well. And of course, keep it locked to the Dan the Wheelman YouTube channel. Always new fun stuff going up there. And make sure to check out Connie's stuff as well at XO Connie Peters, right? That's right. Yes. Everywhere for that too. So check her out there too. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Sayonara, folks.